transparency, I've never used a laser before. I am a deeply flawed individual. Evidently. Who stores precision tools like this? But also because I got 8 seconds into a new project before I got distracted by this one. Deeply flawed individual that I am, I also find myself with lots of these gym flooring mats, courtesy of the COVID home gym that I definitely don't use. It turns out these are made of a high density closed cell foam, perfect for making those shadow boards that all the kids seem to be making these days. On a high contrast background, I loosely arrange tools I think I might like to group together, and then take a photo. Wait. Can't forget my favourite marking pencil. Then I open Lightburn, discover my trial's run out, give you this lovely view of my shutter while I purchase a new license, and we're good to go again. Now it's just a simple job of importing the photo into Lightburn, adding a rectangle of dimension equal to a known size on my image and scaling the photo to match, and then the simpler, if tedious job of drawing around each object. Boy, do I wish I brought a mouse for that bit. Eventually, you'll end up with something a little like this. Okay, so these paths are in no way optimized, but this is a one-off project. I'm new to Lightburn, and honestly, it was just late in the day, and I felt like putting the work on the machine, not me. Oh boy, does this foam cut nice. I'm cutting here at just a third of the power this laser's capable of, and honestly, I'm still running it too slow. I challenge anyone to cut foam this neatly by hand, and that's why I've not done it till now. Watching this back, I do wish I'd spent a little bit more time on my pathing. I didn't count on the resolution of the laser being so high, and you can see the stop and start point of every node on the curve. More points would have solved this. You can see just how smooth the cut finish is on this foam. Even down to the tiny details on the pick end of the scribe, the cut pieces separate so cleanly. At the risk of overselling it, you can't achieve this with a scalpel or a hot knife. Exposing yet more of my flaws, I couldn't wait to take the insert back to the drawer to test the fits. I made these inserts 2-dimension, and yet they're a piston fit. While I could have made these inserts to the full size of the drawer, making them in thirds gives me the flexibility to try new layouts. And I'll waste far less material if it turns out the grouping of tools I've chosen now isn't to my liking. Once I've got those things nailed, I'll hot glue these inserts to the drawers. They'll still be removable, but they won't move so much when removing or replacing tools. Now that side project's out the way, let's look for the next... I'm kidding, let's get on with the actual project. Wait, what is going on? Full transparency, I've never used a laser before. Despite that, Creality sent me one of their best machines to review. Out of the box, you mount the laser, connect the power cable, connect the air assist pump, and you're good to go. That's it. The machine features fully adjustable air assist, which I'll learn later is very important. Also unique is a 22 watt diode head, which I'm told is many watts. So many watts in fact that you can't achieve it with a single LED. Creality have had to pack 4 in here, and they focus their power with a clever arrangement of mirrors. My first impression then is that this is a well-built machine. The anodized frame is a lovely finish, and I can't fault the general build quality. The extrusions are exceptional. Let's just see how it performs. Okay, I know I said I was going to get straight into the project, but I really want to confirm the machine is dialed in before I start working with the expensive material. This test is really going to put the machine through the ringer. 40 horizontal lines, 40 perpendicular ones, all joined together by intersecting circles and diagonal lines. Any slop or run out in the machine's frame is going to be glaringly obvious by the end of this test. Keeping the same power level, but cutting the speed in half, we get a much darker line, and that's how I'm doing these interstitial lines. I think you'll agree, that's pretty confidence inspiring. Let's make our shop sign. So I need to make a new shop sign. Obviously, it must have the M9 logo, but it also has to fit the existing mounting frame. To mount to which, we need accurately positioned M10 holes at each corner, and we'll need a path to use both to cut our logo letters out and to engrave them on the base material. That'll be our layout guide for affixing those letters later. Oh, sweet summer child, if you knew what you were getting yourself in for. I don't think you want to watch a whole laser job. They all follow the same pattern. First, load your job, set your laser height, frame, check your program is within your material, start a program, check your first cut, pause your job and readjust the laser Z height between cut and engraved, and then go off and do something else. The Falcon 2 has inbuilt monitoring to let you know if something goes wrong, like your material catching fire. What I didn't know at this point is that what I'm about to ask the laser to do is a really hard ask for a diode laser. White acrylic is near impossible to cut with a diode laser because of the way it dissipates and refracts the laser light at the wavelength diode lasers run at. It's a testament to the power of the 22 watt head that I was able to do this at all, but boy was it hard to get there. We're good to go. As soon as I remember to dial up the air assist, of course. So that is really interesting in that it didn't go through the material at all. It's barely engraved it. Eventually, I landed on some settings that were getting us just about all the way through. Okay, so looks much better there. And it does appear, at least, like we made it all the way through. And then I promptly ruined it by removing the film that, unbeknownst to me, was helping stop the laser dissipate so much. Thankfully, the simple expedience of adding dark masking tape got us right back on track. And that cool jet sound, that's the sweet sound of us making it all the way through. All I can find in the entire shop, I can't find a single shop rag, all I've got is tissue, which kinda sucks. But it gets the job done. This acrylic wasn't particularly cheap to purchase, but I think it's cheap acrylic. I don't think it's the highest quality you can get. There's quite a lot of defects in the surface, and there's I haven't been particularly gentle with it, but there's a lot of scratches in the surface already. So to bond these letters, I'm just going to use some super glue. I've got two types here, what they call general purpose and HV. HV is high viscosity, so it's a lot thicker, has a slower set time. These are both exactly the same stuff, just one is slightly thicker. I noticed when I reviewed some of the footage, the edges of these letters look way worse on camera than they do in person. And I think that's mostly due to the fact that when you're looking at it in person, you're not actually looking from the side, you'll always be looking face on. This week, there's bonus points in the comments for the first person to identify what plane keeps doing circuits overhead and ruining my audio. If it wasn't clear before, you can now see what I was going for with the engraving scratch pass. Just to reiterate, this is the wrong tool for the job of cutting white acrylic. With that 22 watt head, we still got it done, and from sign viewing distance, the letters look ace. They're just not perfect. The last thing we need to do is cut a backing piece. Acrylic is a brittle material, and I was concerned it would snap when torquing up the fasteners in the corners. Just perfect. For multi-material projects, I might just be a laser convert. Here comes that plane again. If you've made it this far, it's probably because you've got an interest in lasers. Good news, I've got more to come.